Hi, and welcome to Cat Run Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today we are going to be reviewing Action Comics issue 987, The Oz Effect, Part 1. So, first off, I love the lenticulars, so Hope, Oz, Hope, Oz. Yeah, I just did that. You're welcome. So, jumping right on into the story, we get to see Metallo, and he, of course, is being tortured inside of Argus, just screaming for help. And now we get to see Mr. Oz, and Mr. Oz is telling Metallo that he can give him relief. He can stop all of this pain. And Metallo is begging him, and he's thanking him. And Oz tells him that Metallo doesn't really understand, because this may not be the way that he wants to be saved, but he will end his suffering. So he starts to remove his kryptonite, and Metallo is screaming, begging for his life, saying, "But I'll die, I'll die." And he's stating that that you will never use remnants of his world against him again. So we all know that Oz is obsessed with Superman, and in this he is discussing Superman's family, and throughout the entire comic we're dealing with the fact that Oz is saying that this world, Earth, is not worthy of Superman and the family that he's built here. And he is going to teach Superman that lesson. So, continuing on to Metropolis, a vehicle that was carrying a number of vaccines was hijacked, and as a part of the, as a part of the chase, it was thrown into the river there, and all the vaccines are going to be destroyed. But thankfully, Superman has shown up out of nowhere in order to save all of the vaccines. So, continue on, and Superman leaves with the vaccines. So, once Superman has left, we get to see these strange, ominous characters there. And they're asking why the Doctor is trying to save this individual. He says, "Are you for real? In Metropolis, we take care of people." And another one says, "Let him die already." So, continuing on, Superman just wants to do everything he can in order to save the world. While in this comic, he's going to find out that it's a lot harder when Oz is working against you. But he does take the vaccines to the village they were supposed to go to. A number of very thankful doctors and very thankful people. So continuing on, back at the Daily Planet, Lois is walking around with John, showing him all of the Daily Planet, and of course all of the various members and faces that we all know and love from the Daily Planet are all trying to show off for John. And it's really sweet because he either doesn't know who they are, or he's just, he's a kid. He's like, "Okay, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm waiting for my dad." So finally, Clark does show up in time to rescue both Lois and Jonathan from being bored to death, I guess. And just a really great moment there, until we see all hell break loose. And Oz just opens up all sorts of despair and destruction on our world. So he's going to teach Superman that the world cannot save themselves. So we see guerrillas that are going in order to kill off all of the doctors and all of the people in that village. We see several men that are going to kill off a number of workers who have stolen their jobs. We get to see an oil rig that is going to be dumping a lot of their contents right there. And unfortunately, poor seal, he's going to die. There's a sweatshop there. There's a poacher going after a rhino. I mean, really, really sad stuff is going to be happening. So continuing, still at the Daily Planet, we see all of the news coverage live from across the world, all of the craziness that is going on. And, of course, Superman's ears. He picks up on it, and he's there. He's there in order to save all of the workers at the shop. He's there in order to try to help with the oil spill, which it's too late. It's too late, and even the workers are saying, we appreciate the help, but you're too late, Superman. That this oil spill is so catastrophic. It'll be felt for years, and they're doing everything they can to save the animals that are there. So he's there in order to stop a prison riot, in order to save the guards. He's there in order to save all number of people throughout. Even the village that he was just at is being burnt to the ground by the guerrillas. And probably one of the saddest images we have in this entire panel is this dead rhino. And Superman just stopped and he puts his hand on the rhino's head. And Superman just looks super sad. And it is really, really sad. But Superman, he's just had it. And he's asking all these people, what's wrong with you? When another explosion happens, and in the smoke and the fires, Oz walks out. And Oz is telling him that it's time for them to talk, but they have to go somewhere else. So Oz teleports them to the Fortress of Solitude, and he unveils himself to Superman, and he tells him that he made a mistake sending Clark there. He made a mistake. Well, actually, he says Kal-El. He made a mistake sending his son there. And he unveils himself to be none other than Jor-El. So, craziness. This reveal, I know it's really pissed off a lot of people, but I feel like it's kind of satisfying, just because, you get to see someone who we've looked at as being a hero in Superman's eyes, which Superman is clearly one of our greatest heroes, and he's come full circle, and now he's a villain. I know a lot of people thought that this was going to be Ozymandias. I thought this was going to be Ozymandias until fairly recently, and I thought for sure when they said it was going to be Jor-El, I was like, no, there's no possible way it's going to be Jor-El. But, here we go. I'm really excited to see more of the explanation as to why he became Oz 100%, and really to see more of the Oz effect. I really felt like this was a really good payoff so far for a first issue, and I'm definitely back on the Action Comics train. I know I fell off for a couple issues there, but really excited about it. Really solid art throughout this as well. And, I mean, you really can't beat these lenticulars. Just gorgeous. But, as always, guys, give me a like if you like this video. Comment below and tell me whether or not you read The Oz Effect Part 1. And if you enjoyed it as much as I did. Did you like the reveal of Oz? Were you annoyed by it? I'd love to hear that as well. I'd love to hear people's thoughts on that. Subscribe to my channel for more comic book content, or check out any of the older videos I have up for offer here on Catherine Figures. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye.